Once you have a table, you might want to start plotting some things. And so there's a bunch of ways to plot things. Since this class is about analyzing data, data normally comes in ordered pairs, an X and a Y, 2 points. And so for the most part, especially in this class, 90-something% of everything that you're going to do is going to be all scatter plots. That's pretty much all I want to see. There's very few times I want to see something other than a scatter plot. So the first thing we have to do is we have to know what we want to plot. And so we're going to highlight something that I want to plot. And for now, I'm just going to plot one of these. I'm going to highlight an X column and a Y column. I'm going to click Insert. And there's going to be one that says Insert a Chart. So it normally says, do you want to make a line chart? Again, I said no, we want to do scatters. And so there are some suggested ones. I usually just scroll down and find the scatter plot and click on it. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that we can see what's going on here. If I want to move this, I'd move it just like we moved anything else. I'd grab onto something and I'd pull. And you'll see what we have here is we have our X, and then we have our Y1. And so on our X-axis, we go from 1 to 10, and on our Y, we go from 10 to just over 100. Now, there's a lot of things we can do to make this a little bit more fancy, but I just kind of want to do an introduction on this one. Let's say I want to do both of these. I'm going to delete this plot. And this is one thing with Google Sheets where if you want to do 2 plots on the same graph, it's nice to set up a table where you have something set up this way, where you have one X column and then multiple Y columns. I'm going to highlight the entire thing. And then I'm going to click Insert. I'm going to click Chart, and again, I'm going to scroll down till I hit Scatter. And what we have here is we actually have 2 plots on the same chart here, on the same graph. We have our blue dots, and that's our Y1s, and then we have our red dots, those are our Y2s. We'll talk more about formatting this, fitting lines to it in another video. This is just the introduction to get a plot going. I do want to show you really quick how to do this in Excel as well. So Excel is a little bit different, or there are some other ways to do it. I could do it that same way in Excel. I want to show you a little bit more intricate way to do it because it can be beneficial when adding data later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, again, one set of data, and I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click Insert, and in the middle there's a whole spot that says Charts, and kind of in the bottom middle of that is a little picture of a scatter plot. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it gives me some options. I know that it's going to give you options, and some of them are connected, and you say, oh, that looks nice. There's a line connecting it all. Don't choose that one. Don't choose anything other than just plotting points. That's specifically for this class. We just want to make sure that we have our points plotted. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click onto that. Now, I could have had a table similar to the one that we did for Google Sheets, and I could have highlighted all of the cells, and it would have plotted both points. Sometimes what we have is a table that looks like this, where we have 2 different tables. I'm going to show you how to add 2 separate tables to 2 different sets of data to this plot. So what I do is I plot one of them, then I'm going to go to my plot, and anywhere in the middle here, just on the plot, I don't want to necessarily click on a data point, somewhere where it's blank in the middle, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go down to Select Data. And this is actually what I like about Excel a little bit more. I find this part a little bit more user-friendly. It may be a little bit confusing at first, but I feel that it's more powerful in being able to manipulate the data, which is really what I enjoy doing when we're making plots. You'll see on the right-hand side of this window that popped up, we see something called Y1. And what we can do if we wanted to is we could edit our data here of Y1. Underneath this window, you'll see that there's the box of our data and it's highlighted. If I needed to edit something in there, I could click the edit button. But instead what I want to do is I want to add more stuff. I want to also add my Y2 data. So I'm going to go ahead and click add. And what it's going to say is it's going to say, hey, give this series a name. I could do that if I wanted to. If I do that, I could just type something in there if I wanted. There's a cursor in here. I could just click my Y2. Then I click down to the next one and it says, what is the X values? What are the X values you want? And I'm going to just highlight my X values. Then it says, what do you want your Y values to be? Delete what's already there, everything, and then highlight your Y values. And then click OK. So that definitely seems like it takes a little bit more time and it might be a little bit more difficult, but there are times where you will actually need to go and you'll need to manipulate your data a little bit more. And so that's a good practice and it's a good thing to know how to do.